Hey guys, my new album is out. It's called Mental Wellness. Very happy with it. It's out now on Google Play, Apple Music, iTunes, Amazon, Spotify, everywhere. Digital music is sold. Recorded live at Nick's Comedy Stop in Boston in March 2016. I'm very proud of this one. It's got some of your favorites, Candy Crackers, Squeeze Voice, and a bunch of new stuff too. So check out Mental Wellness today, anywhere digital music is sold. ProWrestlingTees.com is an awesome website with t-shirts from CM Punk, Stone Cold Steve Austin, and now me, Will Noonan. Check out the Hypothetically t-shirts, Candy Crackers t-shirts, New Enthusiast t-shirts, Will Noonan t-shirts, all available at ProWrestlingTees.com/Will Noonan. CelebVM.com is a fantastic site where fans and celebrities can interact at any time. Celebrities from television, reality shows, pro wrestling, and podcasting. You can get a message from Jake the Snake Roberts, Gary Busey, and now me, Will Noonan. Check out CelebVM.com/Will Noonan for a message from me.
Let's go.
This is turning into one of the weirdest shows I've ever done. It really is.
Catch me if you can, goddammit. Catch me if you can. You hear me?
Will Noonan's so funny and I'm after him, so I guess I'm after Noonan.
You're listening to Hypothetically with Will Noonan.
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, whatever time it is where you are. Thank you for listening to Hypothetically with Will Noonan. That is me. I'm coming at you right now from 93 North. I'm heading into Southie. I'm going to hang out with my buddies. Snow day today. My gig tonight has been canceled because of snow. It's March 31st. We're in springtime. And it's snowing some more. And I got 3 shows tomorrow. And it's supposed to snow all fucking day. I'm wondering if I'll do any of those shows at all, or if I'll just do some of them. A lot of things to think about right now. This fucking snow fucks up comedy, especially when it comes on the weekend. But what are you gonna do? I guess I've been doing this long enough that it doesn't really stress me out as much as it used to, losing a gig here and there. But man, it's a bummer every time. But I got so much to fucking tell you guys. So much. I got a fucking crazy story for you. I'm just going to open up the podcast with maybe the best story I've had to tell in a long time, in my opinion. So let's just get right down to it. If you've been a long time listener of this podcast, you know how much I fucking hate meter maids in Boston. I get a ton of fucking parking tickets. I pay them every month. It's almost like I pay for parking in the city monthly with these tickets that I get. And if you're a diehard listener and you've been listening a lot lately, you know that I've had a bunch of trouble with my car. I couldn't get a fucking, I got pulled over because I forgot to renew my registration. My car got towed off the side of the road. And for years, since I've had this car, since I've had it, which is years, it's had the check engine light on. And it's been a fucking thorn in my side trying to get this car to pass inspection so I can get my sticker on the front and, not get tickets for that. Because if anyone walks by a car, any meter maid ever walks by a car with a rejection sticker on it, they have to give you a ticket. It's like the law. And it's like a $40 ticket. And I've had a rejection sticker for 3 years. So you can just imagine how many fucking rejection sticker tickets I've gotten. Not to mention, if you get pulled over for something else, it's an extra $55 or some shit for having a rejection sticker. And if you've had one for years, like I did, it's really bad. You can get in a lot of trouble. So I've been fucking dealing with this thing, and it really wasn't a problem at all for many years. Like I said, I got this car, I think, 3 or 4 years ago. And it was my brother's car. He had driven it across country and basically ditched it at my parents' house. He didn't need it anymore. He was living in Boston, downtown Boston, didn't need a car. Kept it at my parents' house in case he needed to use it, but he just never used it. And after I was up here for like a year or two, my old Volvo was dying and I needed a new car. My brother was basically like, hey, man, we got this car. It's just sitting there doing nothing. Why don't you take it? And, as long as you can get it fixed up and working, it's yours. So I was super excited. That was very nice of my brother, and I did exactly that. And from that day, I get the car, and the check engine light is on, and I'm like, I'll take care of that. I'll fix whatever it has to be. So I take it to every mechanic. I've taken it to so many mechanics over the years. None of them can figure out why the light is on, what the problem is. They've given me basically like speculative work. They're like, if you want to try and fix this, it'll cost $1,400, but we can't guarantee that the light's going to turn off. And it's just been a real fucking pain in my ass. Not to mention, about a week ago, Sunday, St. Patrick's Day Parade Day here in Boston, I'm just driving around running some errands, and I pull out of a parking lot, and a state trooper pulls me over for the rejection sticker, which has never happened. I've just been pulled over for having a rejection sticker, and that was a $55 ticket. It was super scary because I had just packed a bowl to smoke, a marijuana bowl to smoke, and I had it packed, and I was driving to Marshall's to do a little shopping, and I was gonna smoke the bowl in my car when I got to Marshall's, and but I had it packed and ready to go. And as I was getting pulled over, I shoved it down my pants. I'm a grown man, getting pulled over by cops shoving weed pipes down my pants. I hadn't sparked it or anything, but I was afraid, open container nowadays because it's legal. So that was scary as fuck. And after that, I was like, man, I need to take care of this fucking sticker and check engine light. It's going to fuck me up, man. I'm just going to keep getting pulled over. And eventually, they're going to take my car away, and I won't be able to go to gigs. Like, this is a really fucking big deal. So a week ago, I'm driving to McGreevy's here in Boston. Monday or Tuesday, a couple of days after I've been pulled over by the cop for the sticker. And I'm driving to McGreevy's, I'm on Sturo Drive, and I'm staring at this fucking check engine light, and I'm just going like, Jesus, man, what's it gonna take to get this thing to fucking turn off? Like, it's just such a pain in my ass, this check engine light. Such a thorn in my fucking side, man. It's gonna cost me so much money. It was a big stressor. I was getting super duper fucking stressed with all the shit that's been going on with this goddamn car and the fucking police pulling me over for things that aren't really real things. They're not crimes, it's just me fucking not being good at paperwork and me not being fucking good at answering bills in the mail when they come for parking tickets and just shit like that, regular shit. Just not paying a fucking parking ticket, or in this case with the sticker, just not being able to afford maybe getting a shitload of work done on the car and maybe having the check engine light go off. Also, I've had a bunch of mechanics tell me that the car runs fine, it passes the emissions test. They can't figure out why that light is on, but it's on, it ain't going nowhere, and you gotta figure it out. So it was a fucking major problem. Major fucking problem. So, as you know, driving to McGreevy's, I'm on Store Drive, I'm fucking looking at the road, but every 5 seconds I'm looking at this check engine light going like, damn, this thing is a problem. So I get to McGreevy's, and I'm there a little bit early. I got like 15 minutes before I gotta go in. So I'm, I like to do this sometimes. I sit in my car and I kind of look over my notes of what I'm gonna do. When I go to McGreevy's, I'm usually working on stuff. New jokes, new material. So I'm in my car, I'm just sitting there kind of looking at my notebook, going over the jokes I'm going to try. And as I'm sitting there, I hear a knock on my windshield. I got the engine running and everything. I'm just sitting there, and it's a fucking meter maid. It's a meter maid. I don't like meter maids, man. I've complained about them many times on this podcast. I've fantasized about breaking into the fucking BTD tow lot and like chaining up all their cars or putting boots on their cars. I've daydreamed about fucking slashing their tires. And like I even did a show a few weeks ago, and a woman came up to me after the show and she was like, oh my God, you're so funny, and I had such a great time. And then I'm like, oh, thanks. And then she mentioned to me that she was a meter maid in South Boston. She gives out a lot of tickets, and my whole fucking demeanor changed in like 1 second. I was like, fuck you. You're a fucking piece of shit. You're worse than an SS officer. So this is where I'm coming at for meter maids. And I look up and I see this meter maid. She's actually tapping her finger on my rejection sticker. And I'm like, oh, Jesus, here we fucking go. God, this thing's a thorn. This thing is a thorn in my side. I'm looking at her. I'm like, I roll down my window. I'm like, I know. I'm sorry. Believe me, I've been dealing with this thing every day. But let me tell you, man, this meter maid, whoever she was, I've never met a meter maid like her. First of all, good looking. Like, she was probably in her 40s, but good looking. Good looking face, nice skin, blue eyes, white teeth. Like, her hair was put together. Not to shit on meter maids, but that's not something you see every day. Often they look like bums. Which makes the fact that they're ticketing you feel even worse, You're like, ugh, this fucking bum giving me tickets. They don't give themselves tickets, that's for sure. But this lady was good looking and smiling at me and being sweet, So the first thing she says is, she's like, that's a really old rejection sticker. That's from 2015. It's 2017 right now. That's 2 years you've had that sticker. I'm like, I know, I'm so sorry. And I tell her basically the whole story I just told you guys. I go, I've had this car. There's nothing wrong with it, but I can't get this check engine light off. I go, I even got pulled over for it the other day by the state police just 2 days ago. And I go into my wallet and I pull out the citation that the statey had given me, and I hand it to her, and she looks it over, and she goes, oh my God, theirs are even more expensive than ours. She goes, geez, I can't believe they gotcha. She goes, was it? I go, it was St. Patrick's Day. I go, I was driving while Irish. I think he thought maybe I was drunk, so he pulled me over just to check. And she's like, oh man, you didn't turn on the Irish brogue or something? That would have been nice, She was like sweet. We were smiling. I would say almost flirtatious, I wouldn't, like, not flirtatious and like, we're going to bang, but just like really sweet, nice. Oh, it felt like when you're on a film set and you're like joking around with like another actor and it's a little flirtatious, but you both know you have like significant others and it's not going anywhere, but it's just that show busy flirt. And at the same time, a very warm and motherly type feeling. Like I just felt very comfortable talking to this woman. She made me feel good. It was weird, man. I was just like, what's up with this meter maid? And she's like, oh, you should have turned on the Irish brogue. She must have been Irish too. And we're kind of having a laugh. I go, man, you don't have any idea how much this is bugging me. It's driving me crazy. And she goes to me, you know what you should do? Get in there, get a little bit of nail polish and just cover that light up, right? I don't even know if she was kidding or if she was being serious, but it was like a nice little like Southie lady like cool thing to do or say, So, and then she actually says, sorry for bothering you. Sorry for bothering you. Sorry for wasting your time. And I'm like, oh, no. Like, geez, you're the best meter maid ever. Thank you so much for just being nice. And I swear I'm trying to get this fixed, and I'm working on it. And she just kind of goes like, don't worry about it, and kind of taps my car a couple times and walks away. So I'm like, oh, got away with it. Didn't get a ticket. That's a fucking miracle, So go in to McGreevy's. I do the show. Great Luke Tuma and Brian Higginbottom. They run that room. Great dudes. I work with them both a lot. Up-and-comers, young guns, funny guys. Go in there, spend about an hour there, have a great time doing comedy. I said to the doorman, I was like, did you see that meter maid I was talking to? She was such a nice lady. I even tweeted before I went in. I just met the nicest meter maid ever. She's making me rethink my entire post-retirement killing spree I had planned. And I was in a great mood. Have a good set. Say goodbye to the boys, go out, get in my car, start it up, and I drive down Beacon Street, and it only takes me like a few seconds to think about the check engine light and how much of a pain in the ass it is. And I look down to look at it one more time, and it's off. For the first time in 4 years since I've owned the car, the check engine light has turned off. Miraculously and mysteriously. I can't fucking believe it. I just start going fucking nuts, like in my car. I'm like, oh my God. Oh my God. The check engine light's off for the first time ever. What the fuck? And then I start thinking, it was her. It was the meter maid. She was an angel, bro. That was like actually where my mind started to go immediately. I was like, I think she may be an angel or some kind of like dead relative. She kind of reminded me of my grandmother, like in this really sweet and nice way. And I'm like, holy fucking shit. Like, was that some actual good luck? Was that some actual like good fortune from up above? Because I don't get much of that. Is that what just happened? And, you know, I'm calling my brother. I come home. I tell Pat about it. I'm like, Pat, you won't believe what fucking happened. And we're all going back and forth. We're all like, Pat's like, it's the power of positivity. It was her good attitude. It was like the good moment you guys had made the light turn off. And I'm getting kind of Irish Catholic with it. I'm like, I think it was my grandmother. She was a wisecracker like that. She would have told me to cover it up with nail polish. That's the kind of thing she would have said. The next day, I tell my mom about it. My mom thinks it's like an angel or something like that. You know, I'm telling everyone, I can't fucking believe it. And the light hasn't come back on. So I'm like, oh, fucking A. So the next day, motherfuckers, I take the car in to get inspected. And it fucking passes. And right now, I'm sitting in the car and I'm looking at my brand new inspection sticker. Legit inspection sticker. So I got the fucking plates registered, and now I got my valid inspection sticker, and I'm driving a fucking legitimate car again for the first time in 4 years. Is it because of this woman? Was she some sort of angel? Was she some kind of miracle worker? When she tapped my car as she walked away, did she do some kind of wax on, wax off voodoo magic on my fucking car to make it work again, to make that light turn off? I don't fucking know. It got me thinking, man, because I'm like, she wasn't your regular meter maid. She stood out. Even her uniform looked crisp and brand new, you know? It just didn't add up. It seemed mystical, paranormal. This is one of those stories where you hear people and they meet a mysterious stranger in their life, and then later on they question, did they meet an angel? Was it God? Was it a dead relative? Was it anything, right? And I know how fucking crazy that sounds. But it's how I felt. So I'm like, shit. I got a podcast. I'm telling this story to everyone. I'm telling it to Tim McIntyre. No one can fucking believe it, you know? But it's 100% true. So I'm like, I got to figure this out. And I got a podcast. So I tweet at the Boston Transportation Department. I'm like, I want to interview one of your meter maids that I ran into, parking enforcement officer, that I met last week when I, had this thing at at McGreevy's and blah, blah, blah. I'd love to interview her if possible. It's a positive story. So I actually heard back from them pretty quickly, and they were like, we think we've tracked down the woman you've talked to, which was kind of a disappointment. I was hoping they were going to say, like, no such woman works for us, or we didn't have anyone in that area at that night, or you sound like you're talking about Joni, and she died 9 years ago. That's kind of what I was hoping they were going to say. But they were like, no, we think we found the woman, and we think we know who she is. But then they wanted more details, like who are you and what's this going to be on and all that stuff. So then I was honest with them. I was like, it's going to be on a podcast at first, but I think it's such a good story that I'll be able to edit it together into something more, maybe for Snap Judgment. Hopefully, who even knows, This American Life, something on NPR. I just think it's a crazy, feel-good, human interest story, and I would love to talk to her. And she doesn't want to, I understand, but I'd love to do it. So that's the email I send them, and that was that. I never heard back from them. It's been a few days now, so I think maybe they saw that I'm just a comedian and it's a podcast, maybe even listened to a few episodes and heard me shitting on fucking meter maids, and were like, yeah, fuck this guy. We don't want to help him out. But I also, have to go on with my life, right? She doesn't want to do the interview, that's fine. I'll move on. So last night I'm driving to New Hampshire to do a gig. It's been about a week since this whole thing happened. I'm very happy with my sticker, my car, and I'm driving, and I pull out of the spot and I look down. Check engine light. It's back on. I'm looking at it right now. It's back. It was gone for like 7 days. And now it's back. And you know what, guys? I think I broke the spell. I tried to fucking contact her. I tried to interview her. I got fucking greedy for this fucking podcast for you guys. I just wanted you to hear it. I just wanted her to talk to my listeners. I wanted us all to feel as good as I felt when I talked to her. And I broke the spell. You know? I got too close to this. I flew too close to the sun. I tried to touch a hologram. Whatever it is, I broke the illusion. And now my check engine light is back on. But still, motherfuckers, I got my sticker for the next year. And who knows what's going to happen with this light in the next year. Will it turn off again? Will it just remain on? Will I actually invest in some black nail polish and try and fix this thing? I don't fucking know, but all I know is I'm good for the next year. And since I haven't spoken to her, I still don't know if I met an angel or a ghost or Jesus Christ. But you know what? I'm just gonna keep feeling good about this, and who knows, right? I guess we'll find out one day. But I just think that's one of the weirdest stories. That's one of the weirdest things that's happened to me since I started doing this podcast. Definitely. I'm sure there might be a simple answer for this. If you're a car guy and you're listening, you might have a simple answer for this. It might be a fucking electrical issue or something, but no one else has been able to figure it out. None of the guys I've paid to try and figure it out have been able to figure it out. But man, isn't that so weird that after that interaction, with all the worry and all the talk and all the thinking about this fucking light, and then I have this great interaction with this parking enforcement officer, and then it just miraculously turns off? That's what I basically wanted to interview. I just wanted to tell her, like, listen, I told a bunch of people I met an angel, and it was you. I just think that's fucking kooky. So that's the story of my parking tickets and inspection sticker. But I just think that's nuts. So, big week, guys. Did a lot of cool stuff this week. Headline Nick's Comedy Stop last weekend. It was a fucking great time. Thank you so much to everyone who came out. We had a good amount of people. Almost sold out the Friday night, but we did sell out the Saturday night. And a ton of new enthusiasts who listened to the show came. It was great to see you guys. A ton of people who had come to see me before came back and brought, like, friends, which I really appreciate. That's one of my, like, you know, I remember when I was a host in a feature opening up for other guys, and I'd see someone come up to them after a show, and they already knew them, and they already had seen them a bunch of times, and they were just there to bring more people to see them. I'd always be like, man, that's so fucking cool. I hope I get something like that one day, and it's starting to happen, which is so awesome. So thank you for doing that. The people who bring other people to come see me, they were like, we've seen you 3 times, and we're bringing our friends. I'm like, man, that's fucking awesome. Thank you. Like, what more can I say? It was a great weekend of shows. Luke Tuma was there. Terrence Pennington. These guys are both so fucking funny. Trisha Ald did a spot on one of the shows. It's fucking nice to be able to work with your friends and work with people that you want to work with, you know? It just makes the whole night a lot more fucking fun. And on the second night, Saturday night, one of my teachers from high school came, Miss Rush, who was my accounting teacher in high school, and she came by, and it was really fucking cool to see her. She was like one of my favorite teachers, if not my favorite. She was just a cool lady. Like, a lot of teachers are up your ass and trying to get you to do fake bullshit and paperwork all the time. But she taught accounting, which is like a real life skill. And honest to God, I think it was like the only class that I really used a lot once I got out. Like, I needed the tricks and tips about accounting that she taught me. And not to mention, she kind of let me be funny in her class. You know, a lot of comedians and class clowns will tell you that their favorite teachers were the ones who kind of, you know, as long as you did your work, she would let you kind of riff and be funny in class. And in her class, me and my buddy Eric Abden, who was also a pretty funny dude, very funny dude, we would sit together. And we weren't allowed to sit together in like any other class because we were such idiots. Butch and Sundance, they used to call us. and we were fucking idiots. And but she would let us sit together, and we would have fun and laugh a lot and just smile a lot and good vibes, good vibes all around. So we had a cool moment, I think, on stage actually during the show, and I recorded it. So here it is. I'm gonna play it for you guys. It's weird. I went to a Quiznos one time, and the guy at Quiznos is like, they suggested. I can't even talk. Suggested. One of my high school teachers is right in the front row. Give it up for Miss Rush, everybody. That's why. I gotta admit, I've been doing this 10 years, right? My mom texted me today, she's like, Sally Rush, Miss Rush, is gonna be at your show tonight. And my armpits got sweaty immediately. I was like, oh, fuck, man, I can't bomb now. You're gonna tell the whole high school that I fucking...
You're just as entertaining as you were every day.
Oh, thank you. Well, here... Thank you, Miss Rush. But what I really wanted to say, I thought about this. She taught accounting. You still teach accounting?
No, I teach special ed now.
Special ed, well, you taught it then too. It was just, we didn't know. Neither one of us knew. But you taught accounting, which is like the only class from high school that I ever fucking used once after I left high school. Like, because you taught me how to forward a check, to write a check. So like when I was broke as fuck living in New York, I didn't give my checks, I like couldn't get a bank account or anything, and I'd have to like sign my checks over to other people and then buy hot dogs with it. Yeah. Pay to the order of, and if that wasn't for you, I would have been given hand jobs on the Queensboro Bridge. So thank you, Miss Rush. She saved a life. Teachers save lives. Oh, baby.
Thanks for entertaining me every day.
You're the best. Oh, what a great moment that was. I hope you guys fucking YouTube that. I send that to Ellen, motherfuckers. We'll be on Ellen together. So thank you to Miss Sally Rush for coming out, and everyone else who came out to Nick's Comedy Stop last weekend. It just always feels good. I love Nick's. It's definitely like my favorite club in Boston, if not the world. I feel very comfortable there. I feel at home there. I love everything about it. Staff. Just feels good to be at Nick's Comedy Stop. I recommend you start going there if you haven't. It's an awesome time. So, what else? I've just been doing some shows. I had some cool things that I did that weren't comedy related. I went to the Vince Staples concert with my buddy Pat at the Paradise. Went and saw Vince Staples at the Paradise with Pat. It was awesome. I fucking love Vince Staples. It was cool. I don't do stuff like that often because I usually shows that I want to go to are at the same time as my shows, and I don't get a chance to go. Or, it's like that's 90% of the time between wrestling and music and other type of entertainment that I'd like to go see. It almost always conflicts with my own shows, so I don't get to go. But this Vince Staples show was like on a Tuesday. I got the tickets months ago. I've been really a fan of his. Not that long, maybe like a year or two, but like it's been an intense year or two where I've been listening to him like nonstop. And it was kind of funny to go to his show and know every single song and every single lyric. I don't think I've had that experience like since high school. And I'm a grown man, so it was kind of funny to go through that. But it was cool, man. It felt good. I kept feeling nervous as I was like going there and walking in, like I was performing. Like I felt the same kind of nervous that I get when I do shows. And it was like my brain was like, you're going to a performance venue. You must get your adrenaline up. And I kept having to tell my brain, like, no, I'm just watching tonight. Brain. Chill the fuck out, brain. I'm just watching. So it was really cool, and I smoked some weed, like, on the down low in the Paradise. And that's always fucking fun to do. It makes you feel like you're in high school again, sneaking some puffs off a joint. Obviously, I was one of the oldest guys at this show that didn't work at the club. And most of the people in my section were vaporizing weed. Like, they had weed pens and Paxes and stuff like that. And when me and Pat each broke out our own joints and started smoking them, some of the young guns in the crowd kind of looked at us like, you savages. You savages. And I gave them all a look back like, look at me, motherfucker. I'm a man. I smoke weed. All right? I don't fucking vape it. I smoke this shit. Lungs be damned. And I blew some smoke in their fucking faces. Millennial faces. I'll tell you about a conversation I had last night that kind of pissed me off. Speaking of millennials. I work with this booker. I like the guy a lot. We've worked together for years. He's a nice guy. Sometimes he fucking needs to slow his roll, though, a little bit. This guy's a little bit of a nut job in his own right. Takes forever to pay you. He always pays, but he takes forever to pay you. Sometimes he fibs about mailing you checks. Sometimes he fucking puts you on shows without asking you. This guy, he's a fucking, he's a wheeler and a dealer. He usually has like 25 shows booked every single Friday and Saturday night. So he's working a lot of things, and he makes mistakes and things happen. But, I've never given a shit because I just go with the flow and do my thing. And, of course, I've made mistakes. I've double booked myself in the past. But things happen, right? Anyway, I'm working with this guy last night, and we're sitting at the bar, kind of waiting to go on. And kind of out of nowhere, he starts kind of complaining about me and my generation of comics. He's like, yeah, you and your generation of comics, you got a rep. You got a reputation. I'm like, what? He's like, millennials. And I'm like, go on. He's like, well, you all act kind of entitled, and you don't, you're lazy, and you don't. And I'm like, what? I go, bro, first of all, said every fucking old fuck ever about the next generation. Like, someone said that about you once too, man. Everyone thinks the next generation coming up is fucking lazy and doesn't work as hard as they did and all this shit. I'm like, where's this coming from? He goes, well, none of you guys, you're known. You don't answer your phone until noon or 1 p.m. I'm like, yes, we're fucking comedians. This is the thing I feel like people forget all the fucking time. Myself included. We're fucking comedians. It's a miracle we get up and shower every day and shave and brush our teeth. It's a miracle we get to any of these fucking gigs. It's a miracle, we can even get our cars inspected, as you fucking heard. It's tough being a comedian. I think I probably have one of the better handles on running a real life and being a comedian, but I still fuck up, and I still have a brain like a fucking autistic 8-year-old. And, things go wrong. But yeah, I like to sleep till fucking noon, man. And just because you get up early and you like to fucking get all your booking done before 11 a.m. doesn't mean that I have to. And maybe if I knew my fucking check was coming on time, or you weren't going to fuck with me and the money, or you weren't going to fuck with what dates I was working and make me feel like I'm fucking you over, maybe I'd, jump to answer that call a little quicker. So this guy's giving me like a ration of shit about my generation of comics and how we are and how we act. And I was just like, instead of just a lot of times when I'm talking to someone I disagree with, I just kind of tune out and go like, I'm getting nowhere with you, so just get it out, and I will go walk away after you're done. That's like kind of, I don't know if that's good or bad, but that's usually how I handle that's how I suffer fools normally. But I don't know what it was. Maybe because I'm just not into working for that guy that much anymore, with all this fucking waiting for money and getting screwed on, like, getting booked when I don't even know I'm booked and all this shit. So I was just like, you know what, man? I can't speak for my whole generation of comics, but I've done hundreds of shows for you. I've messed up a couple dates a couple times, but I've done hundreds of shows for you. I've been on time. I fucking get it done. And to be goddamn honest, since I've been headlining for you, I almost always fucking kill. And the people are always happy. Your clients are always happy. I go, so don't sit here and tell me that I'm a fucking lazy millennial when I got a fucking podcast and I got to fucking drive constantly, and I get up and I do radio shows, and I do a lot of fucking shit for nothing, for promotion, for fucking hope of eventual money. So do not sit here and tell me to my face that I'm a lazy fucking millennial when It's simply not true. I could say the same type of shit about the baby boomers. You know? You want to talk about fucking entitled? Holy fucking shit. Holy shit, guys. So, that kind of pissed me off, man, a little bit. Not really. This guy, he kind of likes to just talk without thinking sometimes, I think. And, you know, we had already gotten into it about him telling me he was going to mail me a check and not doing it until days later. So I think maybe it was like tit for tat. Like, well, you fucking scolded me, so now I'm going to scold you. But I just don't fucking care anymore, man. I think I'm just going to become a Twitch streamer or something, a YouTube star, and I'll just keep doing my own shows, man. Keep doing stand-up on my own, but the world is in such a fucking state of flux right now. Like, television is dying, newspapers are dying, the internet's getting bigger and bigger every day. Television networks are getting weaker and weaker every day. So it's kind of like, I'm the one who's fucking writing jokes and doing material and going out there and doing shows. What do I need all these fucking people for? And why am I chasing like an antiquated? Why am I chasing an antiquated model for success when that's just not how it is anymore? You know, there's guys on Twitch and YouTube making $15,000 a day in their houses. And I'm driving to fucking New Hampshire for $275. You know? I can't be the smart one in this situation. And I don't want anyone out there to think I'm going to fucking quit doing stand-up ever. That's never going to happen. Stand-up is what I do, but I'm starting to think of new ways to try and bring stand-up into the mediums of Twitch and YouTube. And keep this fucking hypothetically and new enthusiast shit under my control and just fucking blow it up. So here's how you can help me do that, guys. I don't want to fucking need Comedy Central. I don't want to fucking need Just for Laughs. And I don't want to fucking need, you know, some bookers anymore. So you got to help me out. You know, we get a lot of listeners on this podcast. I get a lot of fucking downloads. And I'm not asking for your money. You know, I'd love it. I got a donation button over at willnoonan.com. And I got merch and CDs and all that stuff. I'd love it if you get that stuff. But what I really want, if you could really do this, is help spread the word. You know, we've reached a whole new group of people through the Anthony Cumia show, which has been awesome. And downloads have been up. And I fucking love my Cumia fans. A bunch of them came out to Nick's Comedy Stop. It was super cool to just talk about radio and shoot the shit about Cumia with people. And I owe that man and Allie, his producer and booker, for helping me out with all that shit. But, yeah, I just want to grow this thing, man. You know, I just want to grow it even more. We're almost a 4 or 5 year old podcast now, which is crazy. And more to come. And the podcast has gotten bigger and bigger and bigger. So I'm trying to help this thing grow. I want to make this into more of a business where, like, maybe we can do a hypothetically comedy tour, or maybe we could fucking do some live streaming type stuff. But we just need a little more. We just need a little more people to download this bitch, tweet about it, all that stuff. But we're doing good. We're doing good. But you guys got to help me spread this fucking word, because that's what it all comes down to, motherfuckers. That's all anyone fucking wants to see. But, man, I'm shocked at the Europeans, man. Shout out to Ireland and England and the whole UK, Scotland. A lot of Cumia fans over there. And a lot of them have come over to Hypothetical Universe and are hanging out here. And I fucking love that and appreciate that. But, yeah, man, I've been watching a lot of Twitch. Watching a lot of Sodapoppin. And I'm thinking, Sodapoppin seems like he's got a pretty great fucking life, man. Playing video games 6 hours a day for thousands of dollars. And living with his friends, and not in New York, not in LA. He lives in Austin, Texas, near his family, near his friends, and having a great time. I'm like, I think that's what I want to do, man. You know? Maybe not live streaming video games, but maybe I could start live streaming some comedy stuff, some backstage stuff, the podcast. I don't know. If you got any ideas, anything you're kind of wanting to see, let me know. And I'll be happy to oblige you. But you got to get something crack-a-lackin'. Because I'm sick of having fights with New Hampshire comedy bookers in strip mall bars about fucking being a millennial. I'm like 1 year a millennial, by the way. I'm like at the very, very, very top of it. Like I barely made it in to being a millennial. Let me tell you how much it sucks. I don't want to complain about the year I was born, but let me tell you how much it kind of sucks to be a member of my generation, and more specifically, me, Will Noonan, the year I was born. So I was born into a great world, guys. You know, my childhood was the Clinton 90s. You know, just fucking the economy was booming, no budget. Biggest problems in the world were like blowjobs and fucking guys. You know, guy from Rage Against the Machine acted up a little bit at the MTV Movie Awards, and it was like a gigantic scandal. Like, we had nothing compared to now. No terrorism. You know, there was terrorism, don't get me wrong, but it was not a thing, and it was not a daily word out of everyone's mouth. Homeland Security was not invented yet. It was not a time of fear. It was a time of prosperity. It was a time of greatness. So I cannot complain about my childhood. My childhood was good. But I did graduate from high school in June of 2001. I moved to New York City in July of 2001. I lived in New York City for the next 9 years, but July 2001, August 2001, great months in New York. Going to acting school, smoking butts, getting fucked up, fucking chicks, you know, living the dream. Going to bars all the time was my absolute favorite part, because I was 18, but I felt like I was finally a man, drinking in dive bars and stuff. I really love that. But then, of course, on September 11th, 2001, boom, you know, never forget, right there in New York City, worst terrorist attack in American history. Saw it with my own eyes, and little did I know, but that moment would affect not just the rest of my life, but the rest of a lot of Americans' lives, and it would change everything and change the country for the next. It's still fucked, right? So basically, I had 2 months of being free, a free adult in a great world, and then it was immediately fucking pay your dues time after that, you know? So that's my generation. Then same generation, when we graduate from college, there's the highest unemployment rates that have happened in years, and the economy is worse than it's been in years. So all my friends that I graduated with who went to like real colleges, they did not follow the path everyone thought they were going to follow. They did not become lawyers and academics and business people, really. A lot of them, out of necessity, ended up just doing what they wanted to do. I became a comedian. My friend became an electrician. Another one of my friends became a farmer. We all became fucking like, you know, and in a way it was good because we had to follow our dreams, but it was also like, well, fuck it. I'm not making any money, so I might as well follow my fucking dream, you know? Or like just get a job that's recession proof. So we got fucked in that way. But I was like, whatever, I'm doing stand-up comedy. So then I do stand-up for 10 fucking years. And this is where it comes down to me being fucking unlucky. And I finally get good at stand-up. I finally become a headliner. I finally figure out how to do this shit and routinely kill. And white straight men are like the least fucking popular they've been in maybe 20 to 1,000 years. Like Comedy Central could not be interested at all, could not be less interested in a straight white male who doesn't have a beard and isn't a nerd than they've ever been. Whereas that was always kind of like the standard of a stand-up comedian was like a straight white male, which I'm not saying is right or wrong. I'm happy, the more the merrier. Everyone should be included. But just because it's like diversity time doesn't mean that like white straight guys have like fucking nothing to say now and like don't deserve to like even exist. I mean, I'm not bullshitting you either. Like, it's straight up like been told to me across tables, but in meetings, it's been it's not like a secret fact. It's like it's a real thing in acting and in stand up. And I'm not saying it's a bad thing. Like I said, I want women and minorities and whatever. Everyone should get their fair shake, but there's almost like a reverse of what happened in the old days where it was like, well, you're black, you can't be on the show, we already have a black guy. Or, well, you're a woman, you can't be on the show, we already have a woman. And it's like now, sort of the white man who's straight and not a nerd is just like, fuck you, man, you had your time, it's over. So that's my sort of luck in this life of being alive. Graduate from high school, 9/11. Graduate from college, recession, unemployment. Get good at comedy? Well, guess what, buddy? It's not your time right now. You're going to have to wait until it's time again for folks like you. So it's kind of like, it's hard sometimes to not feel like, damn, like I'm just born in the wrong time. I've just been born into like a struggle. But, I mean, how can I complain as a white man in America? I'm doing it right now, so I guess it's still possible. But you hear about it all the time. Guys with TV shows are like, hey, I wanted to try and get this guy on my show, but the network said no. I needed we needed to get at least one Spanish person or one, heavy person or something. And it's like, Jesus fucking Christ. If I were a trans comedian, I'd be killing it right now. But I guess I don't even really fucking care. But I think it's kind of sad because I think like the funniest people should just get, the most stage time and the most cool shit. And I'm not saying I'm the funniest and that a lot of like black men and fat women and lesbians and gays aren't super funny. They're like ridiculously funny. But I've noticed a lot of comics with not a lot of material, but a lot of diversity in them getting ahead. So that kind of sounds bitter, Will, but I'm not trying to, but it is the way it fucking is. Like, I'm not lying to you. Like, there's no demand right now for like straight white dudes talking about their lives. Even though I think my material appeals to everybody, but I don't fucking know. But I do think about that sometimes, how like it seems like whenever I'm ready to take on a situation, the situation is like, not now, motherfucker. You just have to wait. Because the world is fucked up. And boy, is the world fucked up, man. I'm not a very political guy. I just kind of glance at what's going on here and there. But, man, well, it's bananas out there. So people are concerned with that type of shit. I don't blame them for that. And there's a lot of people getting ahead on that. I don't think comedy is going in a great direction right now. Excuse me. Politics in comedy are almost always boring and hacky. There's like a hack political, joke everyone can make about every situation, and everyone does. And, like I don't want anyone listening to this to be like, Will doesn't think women are funny or black people are funny. Like, my favorite comedians are mostly black guys. So I'm not really complaining about that. But I've just noticed, like, if you're gay, if you're a woman, if you're an overweight woman, or if you're like a woman with sort of an interesting like story in your life, like you've been abused or you've had some sort of social justice issue, like these are the hot names in comedy right now. I just don't really get it. So I think I'm just kind of focusing on building my own shit here in Boston. Might start doing a daily radio show. I don't fucking know, but no one's really begging me to do anything, so why not do what I like to do, right? Right. Doesn't even matter. I have an inspection sticker on my car. That's all I fucking care about. I met an angel. So fuck it. All right, guys, you know what? I'm going to call it. That's this episode for this week. You can always email me at willnoonandcomedy@gmail.com or go to willnoonan.com and just hit the contact form there, and you can send me an anonymous email there if you want even. Please make a donation, buy the t-shirts, CDs, all available at willnoonan.com. But anyway, sorry to complain about being white, man. But, you know, I did. I mean, no one on this earth has it perfectly, you know. No one has like a super easy path. Well, some people do. But, you know, white, black, straight, gay, it doesn't really matter, right? It should just be funny. But there are trends in this business. You know, it's just like the words people use to describe. There's been more bullshit fake words to describe funny since I started comedy. I remember when I first started, it was voice. He found his voice. This guy found his voice. No, he got funny. Oh my God, this guy really figured out his point of view. He's got his point of view. No, he's fucking funny. Oh my God, this comedian is so strong. This comedian is so strong. Their strength is so amazing. They are strong. No, they're fucking funny. And the new one is, this person is undeniable. Their act is undeniable. Their jokes are undeniable. No, they're fucking funny. And just like those buzzwords change in comedy, what the industry is looking for changes. But to be honest, guys, I just think all that shit is done. Comedy Central's done. You know, getting famous that way is done. It's the internet now. It's YouTube now. It's Twitch now. And it's fucking podcasting now, motherfuckers. So thank you for all of you for downloading this episode. I love my listeners. I love my new enthusiasts. And I love doing stand-up comedy. And remember, guys, if no one told you they love you today, I do. Peace out, motherfuckers.
I heard a homeless guy. You probably saw a few on the way here. There's a lot of homeless people around here. Some of them work here. Sammy, yeah. Come on, man, take a seat right below here. I had to work here 3 years before I spoke his language. And I still just nod most of the time. He's a pretty good guy. He's been shot a ton, not by me. Sammy, how many times have you been shot? Can't count. Well, one was in the head. That makes sense. It's got weird real fast. Hello, Sammy.
Test. Testing. 1, 2, 3. Test. Boom. Boom. I want you in my room. Hello? 1, 2, 3.